Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Common Sense Academy. I'm Joe Pometto, Joe the lawyer. This episode is also going to be on my channel, Joe the lawyer. So thank you for joining me. What we're going to watch today is a video of looks like some transit. The Philadelphia Transit Riders Union posted this on Facebook. Looks like some police or like some Port Authority type police pulling a man off of a bus in Philadelphia because he did not have a mask on. Now, I don't know if this is a violation of the city ordinance in Philadelphia, a county ordinance, or the state ordinance. I don't know if it's a violation of the state ordinance, but we're going to watch this video. There's a little bit of sovereign citizen magic in here in the video. Let me know if you catch it. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk about the shutdown order that came down from Governor Wolf here in PA. Similar states all over the country probably have a shutdown order just like this. I'm going to talk about the legality of it. And there's also a lawsuit pending in Pennsylvania that I want to take a look at and just do a summary, try to draw an outline of the legality of these shutdown orders that are happening across the state and leading to incidents like this. So before we begin, you viewers of Common Sense Academy, you know what I do. You all came here for the same time sip. Today, I have a rare beverage. I know Joe's trying to be a little healthier. Joe's trying to be a little healthy. I have water. You may have vodka. You may have Yoo-hoo or coffee. Coffee is the nectar of the gods. I also like Diet Coke. But let's do a same time sip before we dig in because it tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. Also, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Free way to support the show. Really looking for shares right now. Take this video, send it in a Facebook Messenger, send it in a text message, share it on Facebook or other social media. Let people who you think would be interested in this take a look at my content, okay? So this was posted 9 hours ago. I believe this incident happened either today or yesterday in Philadelphia. Now, I live in Pittsburgh, but let's watch this video.
Let go orange go. What the fuck am I holding on to? Yo, you gonna feel this, man. Look what the fuck y'all calling me, dumbass. Get the fuck off. Get out. Get the fuck off my fucking leg. Wait. Take me if you fucking want. Where the fuck? Close this door, man. Fucking pussy ass. I want all y'all fucking badge numbers too. Take a picture. Yeah.
Okay, so you saw there at the end, everybody, he asked for the badge numbers. That was the little bit of sovereign citizen magic. This is a serious thing, but you gotta laugh a little bit when they come out and ask him for the badge number. So I think there's probably a lot of mixed feelings here about whether the police were doing the right thing. On one end, there's been a huge incursion on our civil rights, our ability to move throughout the city, our community, as we want, as we wish, as we are used to, okay? And at the same time, the concerns about safety for the coronavirus. Now, this man didn't have a mask on, and you saw they pretty violently dragged him off the bus for not having his mask on. Again, I don't know if it's a local a city order, a county order. I don't believe it's part of the state order, but it's pretty wild that the police are now going to that extent and that this happened here in Pennsylvania out in Philadelphia. Now, another incident that happened in Pennsylvania was, someone was pulled over, okay, for violating the governor's stay-at-home order, pulled over by the state police. So let's take a look at that. Here's the title of the article: Coronavirus stay-at-home order in Pennsylvania questioned after woman gets $200 ticket for taking drive. A woman in Pennsylvania became the first person to be cited last week for violating the state's stay-at-home order meant to slow the spread of coronavirus, spurring questions from at least one state lawmaker if the ticket went too far. The 19-year-old woman, identified as Anita Schaefer, was pulled over by Pennsylvania State Police around 8 p.m. on March 29th in the town of Red Lion in York County, about 35 miles south of the state capital of Harrisburg. And just so you guys don't know, Pennsylvania, that's a fairly rural area, okay? Middle of Pennsylvania. Harrisburg is, a smaller city. It is the capital. But south of Harrisburg, you're talking God's country, very rural, very beautiful territory. In the citation first obtained by Penn Live, Schaefer stated that she was going for a drive that Sunday night, 2 days after Governor Tom Wolf issued a stay-at-home order that included York County. Schaefer said she was told she was initially pulled over for a tail light that was out, but then asked if she was aware of the Stay-at-Home Act. I am aware of it, but I didn't know it pertained to just driving, she told Penn Live. I didn't know that either. About what she said to the officer during the encounter. In the citation obtained by Fox 43, officers then handed Schaefer officers handed Schaefer for at least $202.25. It states, she failed to abide by the order of the governor and secretary of health issued to control the spread of communicable disease, requiring the closure of all non-life-sustaining businesses as of 10 o'clock on March 29th. To wit, defendant states she was going for a drive after this violation was in effect. State Police Communications Director said on Friday she was not pulled over for violating since the traffic stop began as a vehicle code violation. So she was pulled over for the tail light. He added state troopers maintain discretion to warn or issue citations to drivers with the decision specific to the facts and circumstances of a particular encounter. Sunday drives are not essential travel. Does that mean everyone who goes for a drive will get cited? Warned? Obviously not. Tarkowski said in a statement, there are no roadblocks, checkpoints, etc. Decisions to warn cite are made based on the totality of the unique circumstances of each encounter. But to reiterate, stay at home means stay at home. State police have taken to social media with similar messaging saying there are no COVID-19 checkpoints and that Pennsylvanians are encouraged to stay at home except for essentials. You can see here, rumor control. We are not conducting COVID-19 checkpoints. We do encourage all Pennsylvanians to stay at home except for essentials. We will continue to be a source of reassurance and safety in the midst of crisis situations. The governor's office offered similar guidelines, but also states that law enforcement will be focused on ensuring that residents are aware of the order and informing the public of social distancing practices rather than enforcement. A Republican state senator, Kristen Phillips, said that the governor's office needs to clarify. This is kind of unsettling. I've had people say, I just want to go out on my motorcycle and take a ride and ask, am I allowed to do that? Phillips Hill added that such actions erode public trust. Give us clarity, Phillips Hill, the Republican legislator stated. Don't give us confusion because confusion leads to chaos, and that is not a good thing in these perilous and unprecedented times. The statute that Schaefer was cited under was one mentioned in guidance to law enforcement in relation to businesses that were not complying with orders to close. The statute applies to any person who violates any provisions of Governor Wolf's under the Pennsylvania Disease Prevention and Control Law of 1955. This is a 1955 law that the Pennsylvania governor is using. The 19-year-old and her father, Neil Schaefer, told Penn Live they discovered the tail light was working fine when she got home. She plans to fight the citation. Wolf last week announced schools statewide would remain shut until further notice and the stay-at-home order intact until April 30th to deal with the coronavirus. Pennsylvania has 10,507 cases and 150 deaths. So the interesting thing here is the officer said he was pulling her over for a tail light, but when they got home, they said the tail light was operable. The state police said that they're issuing the citations on a case-by-case basis on the totality of the facts, but I don't see what merits a citation for this particular woman, especially when she was honest and said she was going on a Sunday drive. Very interesting, some of the things that are happening. We see a guy getting pulled off a bus out in Philadelphia, and now we see a woman who was cited. The citation actually happened first. So this, the governor in Pennsylvania, and it's probably happening in other states, issued his edict under the Pennsylvania Disease Prevention and Control Law of 1955. That's an old law. Now, there is a lawsuit in Pennsylvania that was filed by SCARINGI Law. You can see here the lead appellant is the Friends of Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is running for state office in PA. He's a personal friend of mine. And he got on to one of the plaintiffs in the capacity of his campaign, because he's running for state representative in this law firm that filed a lawsuit against the governor in Pennsylvania. Let me see here. And you see what the lawsuit is about. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf has ordered the closure of the physical operations of PA businesses he deems to be non-life sustaining. The business closure order has caused significant financial operational harm to thousands of PA businesses. Hundreds of thousands of Pennsylvanians are now out of work because of the governor's order. The goal of SCARINGI's lawsuits are to get Pennsylvania businesses up and running again, get laid off workers back to work and earning paychecks. Now, a big part of the argument here that's made in the lawsuit, which is very interesting, will be litigated. And, no matter which way it goes, the result of this lawsuit is we're going to get the contours of what the governor can do in emergency situations, okay? The Supreme Court will make a decision. It's an interesting time and interesting for the evolution of law, and ultimately, whatever the decision is, it will be good overall that we have some clarity. But what the law firm is trying to do is say that, maybe the governor and maybe the governors in other states have done this, could have taken sort of a more case-by-case approach, shut down certain counties, left certain counties open, or allowed certain businesses to remain open, despite the order. It's very interesting. People are going to have differing opinions on this. But I thought it was really fascinating to take a look at some of the things that are happening, including the gentleman who was pulled off the bus for not wearing the mask, this woman who was cited. Now, I think there was one more citation since then. There's been 2 or 3 in Pennsylvania, which, is not a big deal. If they start citing hundreds and hundreds of people for driving around, I think I would have a problem with that. I do think that we need to be taking social distancing very seriously. We should be wearing masks, taking care of the recommendations, but at the same time, I would prefer to see law enforcement engaging in, what the state police said there, in educating people, asking people to comply with the law, more so than the more heavy-handed approach. So that's my personal opinion. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to continue to monitor what happens as far as these stay-at-home orders, how law enforcement deals with them. This is the latest news out of Pennsylvania, and I hope you enjoyed the little sovereign citizen clip there. Thank you for tuning in. Common Sense Academy, Joe the Lawyer. I hope we learned something. Thank you very much. Joe the Lawyer out.